Hello and welcome to the Arena Sports Show. My name is Clauiee Grace Mpanza and I'm absolutely excited that in this episode the full crew is back. Sizwe Mabena has recovered from his shopping spree and he comes back, of course, giving us the Grootman look today. He's got that hat that looks absolutely dapper and, of course, color coordination is spot on. So I'm not fighting too much. He brought the bang today. And, of course, alongside Sizwe Mabena is sports journalist Mphahlele, who we tried to say, maybe try all black, and he said, listen, I can't give you all black, but I'm going to do something for you. I appreciate the effort, Mphahlele. But, of course, a touch of blue shoe, which is absolutely amazing. So this is my crew today. We, of course, have a special guest that we'll be introducing to you in just a bit. And we'll also have, of course, a new feature that I'm hoping that you're going to like as much as we do. But before we get into our features, allow me, of course, to quote directly from Coach Rulani Mokoena what he had to say a few weeks ago.
Real Madrid have this obsession with the competition, and then the football gods say, we know this guy. This one always buys us flowers and chocolates and even in difficult moments when the relationship is not so strong, this one will never stray from us. He's close. And so what does it do? It favors that, and that's the position we have to get to, where we are flirting with the Champions League so much that it decides to leave the North African teams and says, I found a new husband. And that's what we have to do. We have to take it on the dates all the time. Semi-final, semi-final, final, semi-final, final. We keep taking it out on dates. And that's what we have to do.
And those are very wise words from Coach Rulani Mokoena, and so fitting because this week we saw, of course, Real Madrid showing us that pedigree that it has to be done, it can be done. They do it season after season, pure class from Madrid. But the two gentlemen with me here, they single, right? They're not married. And I always find this interesting because when you talk about courting and we bring it into football terms, I want to find out from you, Sizwe, because you've been gone for a very long time. We'll start with you. Mm-hmm. What's the longest time or period where you've tried to court a female and just didn't work out for you? Because you're not married, I assume it didn't work out for you.
I've won a few. I've lost a few. But the longest.
Yeah.
Jeepers, I think it would be in high school, maybe my high school sweetheart. Ended up being my high school sweetheart, but yeah, it was like a 3-year process.
3-year process?
3-year process.
Patient man, I like that. Mahlatse Mphahlele.
Hey, that's disappointing. 3 years.
Yeah. It took a long time. It was tough. It was tough.
Because I guess you're still in high school, we will forgive you. Lack of experience.
That was it, man. That's what Rulani's talking about. I needed the experience time after time. After a while,
you know, semi-final, yes. final, then you get it right. Mahlatse.
Yeah, I was trying to divert so that I don't have to answer the question. Well, I don't know. I can't remember, but yeah, sometimes it's long and so yeah, I can't remember exactly, but yeah, some.
I mean,
ladies,
estimate, Mahlatse, quickly.
Some ladies are very difficult. You have to move a mountain.
Let's be that one.
You can. I don't know. I mean, like 5-6 months.
5-6 months.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's just disappointing. I was hoping to get a bit more time, but it's okay. As tall as he is, we can get away with it.
We push.
Well, there you have it, of course, from the gentlemen in terms of their time period. But in terms of going final after final, pure class from Real Madrid. Loved watching that. But we keep things moving here on the Arena Sports Show. We'll start off, of course, with finding out what's been happening in our headlines.
The push for the DStv bridesmaid spot has turned into an exciting 2-horse race between Stellenbosch and Orlando Pirates heading into the last 3 rounds.
Stell is still ahead of us, 1 point. That's the reality. They still depending on their own performances and results. We have to continue putting pressure and pushing as much as we can in order to do our own homework. It's going to be difficult for all of us until the end, tight games for sure. But at the same time, it's a nice fight. Stell is doing an excellent season. Whatever happened in the end of the season for them is an exceptional campaign. So we're gonna try to like I said, to get our, it's a second objective obviously, but it's the highest position that we can achieve right now, and we're gonna give our all.
Mamelodi Sundowns were confirmed as champions for the 7th successive season when they thumped Kaizer Chiefs last week, but Pirates stayed in contention with their polished 2-0 win over Chippa United, and Stellenbosch were held to a 0-0 draw by Amazulu. Real Madrid's José Lu scored twice in the final minutes as they fought back from the brink of elimination to reach the Champions League final with a dramatic 2-1 second leg win over Bayern Munich on Wednesday that sent them through 4-3 on aggregate. Real have progressed to the 6th Champions League final in 10 years and will bid for a record-extending 15th title against German side Borussia Dortmund at Wembley on June the 1st. The Confederation of African Football has signed a memorandum of understanding with the University of Cape Town to offer top-class business administration courses to officials of CAF and its member associations. Football's continental ruling body said the program will include a mix of online and on-site modules that will be held at the UCT Graduate School of Business. Junior Springboks will be looking to return back to winning ways when they took on Argentina in their 3rd and final Under-20 Rugby Championship match at the Sunshine Coast Stadium in Queensland on Sunday. The Junior Boks produced an error-strewn performance in their loss to Australia on Tuesday, where coach Bafana bemoaned the error rate and not keeping the pressure.
A lot has been happening in the world of sport. We bring it back to one of my favorite features. It is Star of the Week. Mahlatse and Mphahlele, I'm going to start with you this time around. Who's your Star of the Week?
I'll have to go with Mabasa from Orlando Pirates.
Listen, wait, before you go on, Sizwe Mabena, for once, he's not camping at the Mamelodi Sundowns camp, because if you've noticed, he stays there a lot in terms of his Star of his week.
Can I accuse him of stealing my Star of the Week? Because I revealed mine earlier, and all of a sudden that's his Star of the Week. But y'all carry on.
I heard it last night already. I think we'll move from Sundowns because, I mean, you know, they've won the league. But Mabasa, I think he has done very well since he got to Pirates. I feel if Pirates had Mabasa's goal at the first half of the season, they'll be much better. I hope for them that next season he doesn't suffer second season syndrome, because we have seen this thing that the player comes back or start a career at the club and they do well in the first season, and then when they go to the next season, they don't do well. But if he continues at this rate he's going,
for sure,
they'll be better. If Mofokeng also scores more, they will be better. But I think the way they are playing now, they look very good. They're ruthless.
Yeah,
you can see they're serious about this thing of finishing second.
And I mean, Mabena, with you, I remember when they released him the first time around, you questioned it. You didn't understand that, and I think his comeback proves to that question.
I've always thought he was class. Sometimes you're unlucky as a player. When you arrive at a club, if they're unstable, sometimes you don't get the run you should get. But I always thought there was potential there. I was so happy with him in the off-season with the COSAFA. I've mentioned this time and time again. But that COSAFA, I think, made a huge difference to his confidence coming into the season. Then we saw what he did at Swallows. Now he's on 15 goals. So if the season was to end now on 30 games, if it was to end on 30 and he's got 15, that's a goal every other game in the PSL.
For sure.
That's on any level, any standard, that's an impressive feat. Also, it's not just about Orlando Pirates. Like he says, they can now build on that going forward into next season, like Mahlatse says, yes. But also, Bafana is about to go into qualifiers soon, and we need a striker that's just in great form. And this is in crazy hot form right now. 100%. So it works both ways for me. That's why he's also my player of the week. And also for the national team is good because Reynolds is scoring, Mawasa is scoring, and they were not part of the previous squad. So the coach has got a number of options to play around with when he announces the squad for Nigeria and Zimbabwe for the World Cup qualifiers. Remember, you also complained we had a scoring problem at that AFCON as far as we got. So we could be solving it with these two guys that we're mentioning now. So there you go.
Okay.
And Clauiee, I have to ask
why does it always take you 60 seconds to bring it back?
My bad.
Please tell us who your player of the week is.
You did so well last week.
Moment of silence there.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, somebody's going to ask me. That was an awkward
Maybe
moment.
just shoot.
Clearly. But okay, my star of the week is Keegan Masters. He races in the Porsche Super Cup. They were in Mizano, and I thought absolutely brilliant. So the first race, he started third, and then he finished second place. And then in the second race, he started second and then finished first. So brilliant way to start off the season. I was purely impressed by that. I mean, and he is South African. So any South African that is waving the South African flag high in the European space, absolutely love seeing that. We then move on, ladies and gentlemen, to our new feature that we're hoping that you're going to love. We're calling that And No. So basically, to break it down for you, we're trying to find out as to what sporting moment happened where it got you like, but wait.
And no?
What is going on right now, right? So that's exactly what we're going with. We'll start with you, Sizwe Mabena. What is your and no moment that has happened in the past few days?
I read an article, but this is something that's continued, and I sat at home and I thought, and no? And the only reason is, only in South Africa, does one fan moving from one club to another club make headlines. So when Umatre made the move, then took headlines. And no, like really, this is a story. But yeah, it is. It's South African footballing culture. We're different.
Yeah.
We do things differently.
For sure.
But now that Pirates is winning and Royal AM is struggling, a publication has gone back to her. I see a kickoff has gone back, and I think it's SNL that have gone back to her. And they've asked her, which now, you know, things have switched a bit now. Pirates is doing very well. Do you feel like going back to Pirates and leaving Royal AM? What she then says is what gets to me. She says, these days, just hearing about the name Pirates doesn't sit well with me. She says, that alone is proof enough that I will never go back there again. Will you go back to a boyfriend that you left at the particular time you have a new man in your life? I'm like, wow. Okay. I was like, she goes, never. So that's my no
moment. All right, I like it.
Especially with the maid squad buddy. Because where she is now,
That is good, eh? What about you, Mahlatse Mphahlele?
Yeah, well, I was at Orlando Stadium last night, and I just felt the celebrations of Pirates were a little bit over the top. I mean, I understand there's still a bigger prize to fight for finishing second, which qualifies guarantees Champions League. But Sundowns won the league, a week ago? Sundowns won the league a week ago. So go back to the dressing room, take a shower, go home. Focus on the next match. You understand what I mean? And I mean, if
why
you
are
look
they
at
celebrating, eh?
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It was a bit over the board. And by the way, even if Pirates win their remaining 3 matches and Stellenbosch win their remaining 3 matches,
their second spot,
it's shy. It's finished. So I think they must just calm down and focus on what they need to do. And really, for me, it boggled my mind. I just don't understand how sometimes in South Africa we do things, you know. When the league starts, we're all gunning for the league. The league is gone. It's gone.
It's very similar to last season with Paris, don't you think? Strong ending.
Talking about that,
very strong ending to last season.
But now let them
from
start.
Feb to May. They're killing it. They're doing it again this season, including the Nedbank Cup final. It's very similar to last season.
So
they're playing well now.
They are doing well. Because I remember even last season, actually, when we were talking about Orlando Pirates, we thought, hey, maybe this could be the side that will compete against Mamelodi Sundowns. Season starts, then inconsistent performances and then resulted to that, but also injuries to their defense. So that didn't really, go along too well. But anyway, we keep things moving. I'd love to hear from you. What's your and no moment that, of course, caught you by surprise in the past few days? And then we move over. The Big Show. This, by the way, I'm forced to say, hey, I don't subscribe to it. The gentlemen say you have to call it The Big Show. Primetime Sports with Mahlatse. They decided to have, of course, a very beautiful chat. I'll agree to that part. That is my saying. A beautiful conversation and honoring, of course, Goldfingers. Gentlemen, how did that go? It looked like, a good conversation amongst the Rodman and, just paying their respects.
Let me start. I was the guest. On that day, it's Prime Sports with Mahlatse, but you'll see me presenting it, but it's actually still Mahlatse. We're still there, and that's where the honor was, I think, for me to be invited to be the guy to host the thing, because Mahlatse is part of South African footballing history, I think, and in telling the story, he was a part of the story himself. When you hear the name Jolfire Masilela, for one, I mean, I'm talking childhood hero. takes me back a long time to high school days, to even in varsity we used to crack jokes about him and so on.
For sure.
Lavas Mphahlele.
Yeah.
These are guys, I mean, seriously, high school days, but when you want to be a player yourself, when you start thinking, am I good enough to maybe make it? And be in their company. Nguni, these are guys that did a lot. Great generation of South African footballers.
For sure.
Super generation of South African footballers. I still doubt whether we have any generation as close to that generation, not just of Sundowns, but South African footballers. But to sit there and get to know them and get to hear about Sir Alex, which is why we were there, to talk about Sir Alex and find out so much, even from me who thought I know South African football, about the history of Sundowns, the history of Mamelodi and how it's gone about attracting players and bringing them to Mamelodi Sundowns. Great learning curve, even for me.
For sure.
And the venue also was great choice by Mahlatse.
Okay.
And he'll explain why. But yeah, great learning
I've been waiting for you to
conversation.
end. But
Oh, really?
quickly, yeah,
Like, part of the conversation.
Listen, I can't put a feelings. I'm like, oh, why are we having a gentleman's conversation without the lady? But it's okay. What about you, Mahlatse?
Yeah, it was an emotional and special morning we had with the guys. I used to report about these guys back in the day, you know. Fire, Temba, Roger Fitumba, Daniel Mambush Mudau, Bra Alex, John Tlale, Gift Kampampa, Charles Motoi, Isaac Shai, you know.
For sure.
That was the Sundowns. And one thing that a lot of people don't know, those guys took Sundowns to the final of the Champions League in 2001. They lost to Al Ahly in the final. A very, very, very good team. And in those days, South Africans were still naive in the Champions League.
Yeah.
We didn't play much of Champions League, and they went all the way. And it's a special group of players. Obviously, would have loved to have more of the guys coming through to talk about Bro Alex, but yeah, I mean, fire is gold, you know.
Yeah. Gentlemen too.
I see that short clip where he was talking about him, about how they welcomed Roger Fiduma to the team. He's doing very well on TikTok. People are liking it. Just the stories that came out of the chat, and it was very nice. And also, of course, the main thing was to sort of respect and honor Bro Alex Chakwane 1 year after his passing. So it was very, very nice. Yeah.
What's so different about Bro Alex and that whole lesson we learned there is we don't necessarily have clubs that are given to that community they play for. Let's say Chiefs plays far from where their home is. Sundowns and what they've done for Mamelodi over the years is something different and a story that should be told for years to come.
100%. On that note, let's of course take a short clip to find out what more happened on this phenomenal conversation among the gentlemen.
Opera Sharks had his way of also coming down the player. I was who feel special. So now, I think I was signed 97 late. I was because he was the one who said I will play.
Yeah.
I saying I'm like Opera Sharks nah. Angithi kumbi dlula khona la yasilana and then uyakutshela hamba uyoma Mabena. Estolo da.
Yeah.
Mabang pick up ufire. So mina bengishaya indaba ukuthi why ufire bam pick up endlini. Mina mele ngiya ka Mabena store. Uyabona? Ngiyema lapha ngiyasengiyamla Opera Sharks. Hayi ngicela utshela la Grootman uFredi angasangilandi mina ngisayida. Why? Na mara ngithi maba pick up ufire indlela abadlule so bang pick up na mfana kithi. When I get out, so it's throw in a one. When I got to throw in, Mara no, he had a go my pen. I'm not on the shop. But we got money special, very special.
I think it's good to speak about the Mamelodi only. I mean, if you look at Atteridgeville, you look at Mabopane, Sosha, Winterfell, Rankua, and one place that people don't know what the Sundowns has more fans at Davidton. Do you know I started Davidton? You remember Davidton? They used to invite us. I mean, he has done such work whereby it cannot compare to anyone. I mean, 50 years is not even far away than the Minyake Kaizer Chiefs on his own. And if you look at the people that have been employed, 50 years of football, no one might quite 15 years.
Yes.
There are few. Tina Senza 7, Fire 15, September 16. I mean, it tells you good. commitment pays off sometimes. Illegal projects cannot be wrapped off.
It cannot.
For me, as part of my party shot, I know it's a long shot, but I think for the people of Mamelodi, as some sort of a lasting legacy, maybe to really honor Brasharks in something that will be there forever. Is if Sundowns comes back and play I'm sure if that happens, he will be the happiest man in heaven.
Well, on that note, we remember and celebrate a very special gentleman in Alex Goldfinger Shagwani. Click, click. Bang.
Well, we keep things moving and we bring in a gentleman who has won 2 league titles, the Nedbank Cup, the MTN 8. He is a champion by his own right. And of course, when you speak Bernard Parker, you have to speak about the longevity that he's had in the game and of course, a brilliant career that he has served us with. Bernard, thank you for joining us. How are you doing? What a way to welcome you back, of course, in terms of the DSTV Premiership. I think we were talking off air. We were hoping you were going to score that penalty to make your comeback, but it just didn't go the way we wanted it to go.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's an honor and a great pleasure to be here on the show. And hello and good day, good evening, good morning to all the viewers.
Yeah, because it's evening somewhere around the world.
Correctly so, yes.
All right, talk to us about that penalty. How
Your
it
return.
went about your return. Wait, actually, let me just change it up a little bit. Sizwe Mabena was commentating on that game and he gave us the whole preview. Go, how did you do it?
I was working on radio, so first we see Bernard.
No, I just want
warming
what
up,
you said.
And it's, Bernard Parker coming back onto the field and, wait for it, stepping up to take the penalty. Leadership, experience, all these years, and how brave he is to step up and take this moment, and we wait for it, and he's missed it. You build it up and you're like, but it was a great moment nonetheless. And I was working with Max Mapanyani as well, so he also had nice things to say about you and how brave you were in that moment. So tell us about it.
Oh yeah, sure. I didn't see you. I saw Mr. Maponyani there on the pitch side when we came in for pitch inspection. What a gentleman as well. What a way to make my comeback, firstly. Against Sundowns, because when I got injured it was against Sundowns, and making my comeback against Sundowns, that is actually, maybe that's how the stars that aligned me, you know. And then the coach said, no, I'll give you a few minutes just to get the feel and get the fear out the way. And I went in. 80-something minute, if I can remember.
Yeah.
And our young prospect, Zwane, created a penalty for us. So I took the ball and I gave it to our club captain, which is Mbunjani. And then Mbunjani took the ball, and then as I looked to the bench, he said, no, you take it.
For sure.
Oh, I'm not ready for this. I'm all rusty, you know. I played 6 months ago, and I step up, I said to myself, let me put low power in the corner. But you know, I came up against goalkeeper of the tournament in the recent AFCON, and he showed his quality. And then afterwards, I said to him, "Come on, man, you should have let it in."
Come on.
Yes, you know. And then he says, "No, clean sheet matters. Clean sheet matters to him." What a professional! And it's good to see that players really want to break records. And well done for Ronan for saving that penalty.
And well done to you for coming back.
Oh, thank you so much.
And Hunt, just as a follow-up, we spoke to Rulani afterwards, and he says that, you know, football these days is so advanced, and these guys does a lot of work behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You would think that they didn't have your stuff, your stats and your numbers on the technical bench because you have not played for such a long time. But actually they did. Because he says that they pulled them up in a few seconds, and the message was relayed to Ronan to say, go this way because he likes going that way. So these days in pro football, there's little margin for error because these guys do prepare.
If you watch the match, as Bernard is stepping up to take the penalty, one of the Sundowns players
is
pointing.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's when they were giving the
This
message.
way.
The message was coming from the bench. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just shows you how important it is to have these kinds of people in a football setup like that, because it's very, very crucial.
Oh yes, Mahlatse, definitely. You know, the game is so advanced, and if you pay attention to detail, that's the fine margins between winning and losing. And big up to Sundowns for paying attention to detail, and they've got a huge technical bench, and our goalkeeper Fakri, he only told me after the game, "Hey, I saw the goalkeeper coach showing." To that side. I said, but Fakri, come on. Why didn't you run from your goal, you know, and come tell me, you know?
Yeah.
And big ups to them, you know, that they want to break records. Fantastic. And they have been breaking records. All the coaches don't sleep.
Yeah.
They go to bed very early hours of the morning, and they have to be up again for training again, you know. So paying attention to details it will take you further.
For sure.
It will take you further, and it's for us as aspiring young coaches to learn from this, and going forward.
Wait, are you an aspiring coach then? Is that what you're saying?
Scoop right now.
Yeah. Nice. You know, going forward, it's such a eye opener that I'm getting now at this stage of my career. That the more energy you put into the game, the more chances of you winning matches. The percentage of you winning matches are more.
Yeah, I like that. I remember Coach Rulani Mukwena saying that you need to be obsessed with the game. When you're obsessed with the game, it will give back to you. So I think you're definitely on the right spot. Didn't know that you want to be a coach, but I love it. I think, you always giving inspiring talks to the young players. So I think definitely perfection. I want to find out from your coaching side in terms of your current coach, Zijad Ramovic.
Yes.
We look at TS Galaxy and the growth that you guys have had as a team. It's absolutely impeccable. Yes. And of course, the wins that you guys are having, the growth that you have as a team. Talk to us about that technical team that you have at Galaxy.
Yes, you know, Coach Ramovic, if Coach Rulani says he doesn't sleep, I think he means to the rest of the other coaches, because all the coaches don't sleep. And Mr. Ramovic, he is so obsessed in growth. He wants to grow all the time. You know, last year we sold about 7 players, if I can remember, and they're all first-team players with Malusi, Gavin Msimango, you know, Nyama, Teto to Scotland, and the others. So it was the core of our team that went away. And big ups to our technical staff and the chairman, Mr. Sukazi, as well, to hunt for players who can take the club into a right direction in support of the coach and the technical staff, what they've been doing. So we are better, we're in a better position than last year. Yeah. And it shows what type of coach Mr. Ramovic is, because we had to now go source players from NFD, free players from Murumo, because Murumo got relegated.
Yeah.
And also we had to promote a few players also from the DDC. And the team is now much stronger, and the team has done better than it did last year and the year before. So it shows that Coach Zijad is doing a great job, and he's also growing as a coach, and the team itself are also growing as well. We've got a great workmanship amongst each other. You know, we're a small team, about 25 to 26 players, and everyone gets a chance. Everyone gets a chance, and that's good because we keep each other on our toes as well. And I like Coach Ramovic's honesty, because he says if you perform well and you train well, you get your chances to play. So everybody wants to perform well and in training for them to get a chance to play. And with me as a senior player, you know, I learn a lot from him. He's so honest. You know, he's a person who can bring the best out of his players. Yeah. And we don't have the budget as a club. So imagine with Coach Ramovic being at a bigger club with better players. What else can he do? So I wish him all the best, and he deserves to get the notch, you know, in the bigger clubs, whether it be here in South Africa or whether it be abroad. For sure. And Also, Mr. Sukazi as well. He backs the coach 100% in terms of what is needed, and so far so good. Mahlatse, can I also just touch on when we went to Turkey? We went to Turkey last year during 2 years ago during the World Cup. During the World Cup, and then we just recently came back from Turkey again in the off season during the CAF tournament, and what we've done at that side has helped us a lot during the second round of the season. So we have seen I'm happy that the young players saw football on another perspective, you know, and what it takes for you to become a top player. Sure. And that definitely, the players definitely absorbed that, and now the mental strength is more stronger than it was before. So I would say big up to TS Galaxy and the rest of the team, what they've been doing in terms of making sure that the club goes in the right direction.
You talk about mental strength and the work the technical team has put into the team itself. I want to know from a personal point of view, mental strength now, having suffered the injury, and then to come back against Sundowns. Surely there needs to be a lot of mental strength in that, because the incident that happened with Zungu, who's just come on as well in that game. How much did that take of you, and how much support did you get going in there to say, listen, I can't do this, it's against Sundowns, and you know? Yeah, no thanks, Mr. Bena. What happens is that since my last year at Kaizer Chiefs, I took on sports psychology. I took on a 3-year diploma that I wanted to do, because I got inspired by a great gentleman who wrote my book, Mr. Charlie Peterson, saying we so much forget about doing mental preparation because we're so much focused on physical preparation, and we tend not to put effort and preparation on the mental part. And if we do, we just do a little bit on the mental part. And since I took on that course, you know, everything just opened up for me. You know, positive things start to happen because of firstly the mental strength. So anything that I come across, whether it's what's the word, whether it's an obstacle or whether it's a challenge, you know, because of your mindset, you quickly get out of it. And I'm putting also into practice with the young players as well, and I'm also close to the young players in reminding them that the best investment that you can do is to yourself, you know. And if your mind is clear, you're happy. And if you're a happy player, you're a performing player. The positive news that I got from the country at large, and also across borders when I was in hospital, that actually gave me strength to immediately get back to what I love doing, which is football. So immediately when I left the hospital, I said to myself, let me continue my routine, what I've been doing, waking up early in the morning, taking kids to school, then I go to training. So I immediately got into my normal, usual daily routine, and that helped me, because I never gave the negative thought or the negative talk a chance. Sure. And I wish that young players also can understand that football is not only talent alone, but through great mental strength, you know, it comes fast growth.
For sure.
Maybe just as a follow-up, it may not be significant to a lot of people, but I guess there's a human element to it. How was your first touch, your first tackle? I mean, you know, just take us through that when you received the ball for the first time after such a long time. Yes, and your first tackle, you have to tackle because, you know, how was that?
The first touch was a great feeling.
I can imagine.
Before the first touch, you know, sitting now in the change room and thinking, hey, I'm back on the bench, you know. It just took me back to that little kid when you started playing football.
It was like you were making your debut.
Yeah, it's like making your debut, you know. And I had no emotions. I was just eager and happy to be back, you know. I never had butterflies in the stomach, really, never butterflies in the stomach or worry about anything, because for the past month, I've been training full-time with the team.
For sure.
And training full-time with the team, the doctor said to me, you know, you need to challenge yourself. stop taking painkillers and test it out. So go into contact as full as you can. So in training, I go into contact, I go into tackles, yes, Mahlatse. And when the guys complain, I say, you didn't team me, you know, it's more stronger. It's more stronger, yes. And thanks for the coach for giving me that confidence to come back. And that first touch, Mahlatse, you know, that it's an indescribable feeling, but that first touch felt really good. It felt really good.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
So what I want to follow up on is still staying, of course, with mental issues, right, and mental coaching. We had 14-year-olds last week on the show, and they are, of course, currently in motorsports. And they talk about having mental coaches, driver coaches. Literally, they've got all different kinds of coaching. And I think, you look at currently Formula 1 drivers, so they also have their own mental coaches. So it's a standard in motorsports to have those kind of coaches.
Yeah.
So now in football, what I wanted to find out from you, because I know you're an advocate for mental coaches, is that something that we should then try to bring on in terms of at a young age, introduce it to South African football at a very young age, instead of trying to do it already with senior players?
Yes, definitely. When we install that mental part into the young players while they're in academy, or they just broke into the first team, if we install that mental strength and that mental principle to them, you know, if we have that, you attract a lot of other things. You know, you attract discipline, you attract humility, you attract positivity, you attract, you become a workhorse, you know, because the mind, everything in the mind that is clear, you know, and the positive things that you see and the positive clips that you look at and the positives you feed off your teammates and your coaches, that actually generates down into your legs. And then when the legs are happy, you know, you perform better. And in football, we really need it. We really, especially in South Africa, because a lot of young players fall alongside out the way. I can mention a lot, you know, especially when I was at Kaizer Chiefs. Players that are even younger than me, they can't find clubs anymore, or they just fell off the way, Mahlatse. But if you've got that character and that mental strength within you as a player, your chances of your career, your years of your career gets lengthened, you know. But if you're not strong mentally, you know, your years of your career get shortened. So I believe every single club needs a mental coach, and that will make our game improve, I would say.
Talking about mental strength, and I'm looking at it from a different point of view now, not necessarily from your injury, but I remember a time in your career when you were scoring goals.
Yeah.
You were playing for Bafana, scoring goals as well.
Yes.
And things were going very well until we have that qualifier in Ethiopia.
Yeah, yeah.
And you were scoring goals. You scored goals there, just in the wrong nets against Sweden. It was an important game, but I've always wanted to ask you, how did that feel? Because it was a very important game. You were the informed player then in the country, especially from a goal-scoring point of view. Yeah. Did it hurt you, or was it a mental issue as well to have to get over that disappointment in that performance against Ethiopia?
Yes, it did hurt me. And I made sure that I get quicker out of it. I actually scored in both nets.
Yeah. Like I said, you were scoring that day too.
Actually in the same goal, because first half I scored the 1-0, and then second half I got nudged a little bit, and then when I lost balance, I just put my head. And I gave Skune a standstill. In the top corner, Mr. Mabena. And then, you know, I got so much backlash on the socials, you know, in terms of, because we had to win that game to qualify for AFCON. And we played a draw, so automatically we couldn't qualify. And I got so much of what do you call it, cyberbullying? What do you call it? I got so much of that. And I said to myself that, you know, I am a player that gets dependent on. And so if I listen to what the people are saying, I will lose myself within the football fraternity. So I made sure that I block everything out, and then I carried on scoring after that. But it's not a nice thing to put the ball in the back of your net, because those are one of the bad moments everybody remembers. You know, even if you Google now, you Google Bernard Parker, it will come up Bernard Parker own goal. You know, so what can we say? Bad news travels more. But the best players in the world also score own goals. You know, so. I made sure that I quickly get out of it, so that I can get back onto the wars and get back to what I do best. And I'm happy that I became the third highest goal scorer for Bafana. So
it wasn't all bad, yeah.
Yeah.
So now, when you talk about pressure, right, Bernard, I mean, you played at one of the biggest clubs in South Africa, that being Kaizer Chiefs. And when we speak pressure, it doesn't get bigger than Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates, and of course, then now Mamelodi Sundowns also getting into it. So how did you maintain that? Because 11 years at Kaizer Chiefs is not easy. And the fans are also quite vocal. When they're not happy, they're definitely going to tell you. They will let you know about that. So talk to us about that pressure that comes with playing for a club like Kaizer Chiefs.
Huge pressure. The pressure is so enormous, Mahlatse, that sometimes you as a player, your mind blocks. Your mind blocks. So when you step into the field of play, you're not yourself. If you let the external stuff get into you, you just automatically not become yourself. So I had to put it into practice, saying, let me control myself and let me control what I can control and what I can affect. The other stuff I cannot control and I cannot affect, that's in God's hands. God will deal with it. So me being one of the less talented players, Mr. Mabena, we had a lot of skillful players. We had a lot of skillful players. It's a South African game, you know, the skillful players. You know, I can mention a lot.
Hardworking players, which I think you would be on the list. Hardworking.
Hard work. Hard work. Yes, I am a workhorse. Because of my hard work, I think that the young players also need to look at that talent is not alone. You have to work hard in order for you to become a national player or international player. So the type of pressure we get every day at Kaizer Chiefs, it's so crazy. You get loved, you're being loved. I mean, like love, being loved all over in the country, and then the next moment, if you make a mistake on television, you get hate. You get hate immediately. And with football, it just changed like that. So with my leadership at the club, we were going through a rough patch when Gavin Hunt just joined us, because we also got a FIFA ban as well in Chiefs, you know. And Coach Gavin spoke to me and he said to me, Bernard, I can't sign players, you know, I can't do anything, but I know you can lead the team. And I made sure that I do my best that I can. And we got to the Champions League final in that year. Unfortunately, Coach Gavin was relieved from his duties. But if the young players can understand what it takes for the club because of the culture, there's great culture there. So we have been, we as senior players, I mean the last generation, myself, Mato, Kune, and you can name a few, we have taken that culture from the likes of Jimmy Tao, you know, from Atazwani, and we wanted to pass it on to the younger players at Chiefs, to make sure that no matter the pressure, no matter how the game goes, win or lose, just give your best. If you give your best and we lose, the supporters can see that you give an effort. So I got to that mentality to say, I give my best that I can all the time, Mr. Mabena. And every coach that came, I played under the coach.
Yes.
I played under the coach, you know, and I was still being booed by the fans, you know. But they don't see what's happening behind the closed doors. So professionalism and how to conduct yourself as a Kaizer Chiefs player is really a key principle. And if you do not do that, it will affect your game. And when it affects your game, now you even get more pressure
For sure.
as a player. So it takes us back to having a mental coach in big clubs, you know. And I hope that big clubs, before they sign players, if they can thoroughly profile players, you know, thoroughly profile the player. And if you thoroughly profile the player and you can see that this player will add value to your team, then why not take out the money and get that player, you know? With over the years with Pirates and Chiefs in particular, they didn't break the bank, or they didn't go all out to get what they need. You know, Sundowns has done that, and it shows for them, because that's where the money is. That's where the money is. If you win, if you score goals, that's where the money is. And big ups to Sundowns that they're doing a great job, and I hope we can learn from what Mamelodi Sundowns has done,
For sure.
and the culture that they have built. So with Chiefs and Pirates, I think we need to refresh, you know, get back our culture, get back our ethics and the mentality to make sure that we give the best all the time, no matter win or lose.
Yeah.
Hunt, maybe just as a follow-up, I'm going to put you on the spot here a bit. What, obviously, I mean, we all know that Chiefs are going through a tough time. It's not nice to see you played for the club, you won stuff for the club.
Yeah.
How do you feel, man, when you see them these days, you know, and how do they get out of the situation? Because it's quite a tough situation they are in now.
Yeah, Mahlatse, it is a tough situation. Seeing from the outside, you know, I'm also thinking to myself, what is it? But I don't know what it is, you know. And also, the players that Kaizer Chiefs has recruited 8 months ago, they were top players in their club. They were performing they were dependent on at their clubs. You know, we depended on Simbango to keep the clean sheets. You know, being clear at the back. Excellent job he done. Umtetwa, excellent job he done. Mart captaining Sikokune, excellent job that he done. You know, and then 8 months later, it's no more the same player.
Yeah.
You know, he struggles to get back to his best, or he struggles to get form, Mahlatse. But those are technical issues, or maybe those are management issues. I don't know. But the first principle as a footballer, you need to get the best out of yourself. And when you get the best, and if you get the best out of yourself, you know, self-confidence comes, and all of those type of stuff comes as well. And what I'm currently seeing at Kaizer Chiefs, I think every player there is not himself. Every player is not himself. And, you know, it's hard for a coach to, it's really hard for a coach to make sure that everybody thinks the same way, or everybody goes in the same direction, because that's why the coaches get paid so much money, because we have to deal with so much individuals, you know, to become the best that they can. And for that answer, Mahlatse, I don't know what to say, but I'm just happy that when I had my time at Kaizer Chiefs, you know, I won something. And I've left with records as well, so I am just happy. But I am also friends of a few players there, and I also try and psych them up there as well, and also try and encourage them, and also try and motivate them that all you need to give is just your best, you know, and at the end of the day, God will decide.
For sure.
So it's also painful to see a big club as Kaizer Chiefs to what are they going through.
You know, Bernard, what I've always wanted to find out, right? I mean, from the outside, when we look at Kaizer Chiefs, we think, shucks, if there's a coach that should have been given more time, is Gavin Hunt. Yes, it was unfortunate that there was that ban that you referred to, but the timing of his stint there seemed a bit short. From your perspective, and being at the club for 11 years, which technical team do you think should have and perhaps could have been kept a bit longer, and maybe would be seeing a different Kaizer Chiefs currently?
Yes. You know, for the past 3 coaches, I think it was unfair that they never had more time. Starting from Mr. Middendorp when he was there. You know, we went on a winning streak. I think 11 games, 11 straight wins or so, and then boom, COVID hit.
Yeah.
You know, and it was Mr. Middendorp's first season. You know, he came halfway through the previous season, and then this was now his first full season, and then COVID came, and then with Pitsumsumani's mind games, Pitsumsumani's mind games, you know.
You have to mention them.
Hey, you have to mention him. And then he also stole a player also from us, a key player from us. You know, I
can still feel the pain burning.
He destabilized our team.
At the end of that season, you know, Coach Piso took us, a few of us, for lunch.
Yeah.
So we asked him and said, Coach, why did you always have to talk about Chiefs?
Yeah.
He said, you must put pressure.
Benefit. Why must they benefit? You know, and at the end of the season, on the last day, you know, where we just had to win against Baroka, and they scored the equalizer because we were leading 1-0, and they scored the equalizer. And our other colleague on the other side, he won, and he was happy, and he won the league. And immediately, Coach Middendorp was sacked. You know, that's his first season being the head coach, first full season being the head coach at Kaizer Chiefs, because I think it should have been kept, because before then we weren't even close. Yes, before then we weren't even close. And unfortunately, he didn't get enough time. And then Coach Gavin Hunt came in, and it was the ban, you know. So he had to deal. He had to try and deal with what he got. And it wasn't easy for him as well. Also, his first season as well, taking us to the CAF semi-final. Semi-finals. You know, that is actually great for a coach. And you also got relieved as well, and then Coach Stewart came. Coach Stewart came now, try to rebuild as well with what we got. And Coach Stewart didn't even sign a lot of players. You know, he said, no, I can work with what I got, and we got stronger, and we take one step back. But every time we take one step back, we took 2 steps forward. So we were doing well, you know, and. Coach Stewart also left us. He wasn't also given time. And then when Coach Arthur came back in, and then Coach Arthur also never had time. Then Coach Mulife came in, never had time. So when coming down to everything, I'm saying, you know, football is a process.
Yeah.
It's a process, you know. You have to believe in the philosophy. You have to believe in what we're doing.
For sure.
And if everyone in the room believe in what we're doing, it actually gives us more strength. And there was no strength. Reason why there was no strength, because every season 10 out, 10 in, 10 out, 10 in, or 11 out, 15 in. You know, so there was no chance. There was not much of chance or space or time. You know, to not even to build, to strengthen, because we needed more muscle in the team. So I think we have to be realistic as South Africa. You have to be realistic that at least give the next coach a full 3 years, you know. So we know the first year is a storming phase where you have to see who's who and whose strengths are who and who does better and who and whatever. Then in the second year, you know, that's now the normal and performing phase. You know, now the team is now used to each other. We're going now normally with each other, and then we perform. And in the third year, now we have to excel. You know, now we have to lift trophies. Now we have to lift something. And Mr. Mabena, Pirates has done that. You know, Pirates has done it. Pirates has done that, and they've been collecting cups. Although they're still thriving to win the league, but during the times they've been collecting.
2012.
They've been collecting cups. Mahlatse, and big up to Pirates that they now realize now that they have to strengthen where strength is needed in certain positions. And you can see that they trust in the process, with what the coach has instilled into the team. So it's really not easy. You know, why can't we also learn from the Europeans as well? Look what Arsenal is doing.
Oh, do you have to quote Arsenal? There's no need.
You know, with young players.
Yeah,
Because
yes,
Arsenal with young players. Look what Arsenal is doing.
Incoming
You know.
EPL champions.
Yes.
You won an award. I want to go back in time a little bit. I think it's the only time you can help me out here. Ever remember this award being given out? Just before you left under Royal Zulu, December.
Yeah.
There was a game in Durban. Before you played the game, you received an award. It was your last game for Tanda, I think.
Yeah.
And it was for scoring double figures before 15 games is done by the halfway mark of the season.
True, yes.
So you did win. I'm not crazy. You did win that award. I was there that game. But
Yes.
What irks me is I don't remember anyone else ever winning it. So that did happen. And how did it make you feel to pick up an award midway through the season for reaching, I think, 10 goals it was
10
at the
goals,
time?
yes.
And this was almost like your farewell
Yeah.
at the time because we were going to Europe.
Yes,
How did it
right.
feel? And now, even looking back, how does it feel having won that award that has sort of disappeared? It was one time, I think.
I'm not sure, Mr. Mabena. I think I was in double figures halfway through the season.
Yeah.
And
These ones
then-
can't even score double figures there.
No need for your shade, man. No need.
Yes, and I think it was the last game. So then I think
For the Christmas break.
I mean, before the season ends, I was on par with Katlego Mashego, if I can remember.
Yeah?
Then he got it.
Ah.
Yes, then he got it. So I only got the Golden Boot when I came back from Europe to play for Kaizer Chiefs.
Oh, so I thought the
Yes.
award was for just scoring 10 goals by December, end of December, before the January transfer window.
The award was, if I can remember,
Just 10, not at the end of the season, midway through the season.
midway through the season. Yes.
So was there an
I
award
can't
for that?
remember. There was an award. There wasn't an award.
There wasn't
I
an
can
award.
remember.
Okay,
Yes,
then I
there
was
wasn't.
crazy.
Clearly,
I can't remember.
he wanted to
I
give you an award.
I still think they got an award for this, so now I was losing my mind. I had to ask you about that.
Yes. So, also goal scorers. We don't have South African goal scorers of our own, you know. And when I left to South Africa to join Red Star Belgrade, and then from there on, I continued scoring goals for Bafana because it was the build-up to the Confederations Cup and the World Cup. So I continued scoring goals, and then in the Confederations Cup, I made a big mark, and that's when FC Twente bought me from Red Star Belgrade. And when I got to FC Twente, Coach Patrick Clauiee, he was doing his what do you call it?
Coaching badges.
He was doing his coaching badges, so he had to do his hours. What do we call it? Your practical hours in terms of building your portfolio. So he came and he shadowed our sessions. And clever of Coach Steve McLaren, who asked Patrick Clauiee, you know, to work with the attackers, because Patrick Clauiee, big Barcelona scoring goals and all of that. So Clauiee taught us small details, what we need to do. Most of the time, you know, we're in the box, you know, it's always first time finish, you know, and he said the most important thing for any attacker, technique is the most important thing. So the ball can come anyhow, it's what type of technique you apply to get the ball on target. So that actually also gave me more confidence and actually made me want to go into the box more. And remember, I wasn't playing as a striker. I was playing sometimes the left wing and as a number 10. But
Because you're actually not a striker.
I'm actually not a striker. Just because of my attitude in terms of getting into the box, into the kitchen, as Mark Williams says, you know. And I practiced that, you know, one time finish, you know, how to apply a certain technique. And after the World Cup, when I came back to South Africa, I immediately jumped back on to the wars, you know, and we won 2 league titles and the Nedbank Cup and the MTN 8 because of what I've learned at the highest level. And I can't remember any South African who got the Golden Boot after that until to date. Yes, so it shows that we focus so much, especially in the development stages, we focus so much on ball possession and trying to make tricks and shugela, and we do not score more goals. So if we can install that at the academy, you know, or maybe at certain clubs, you know, in terms of scoring goals, we will, because goals wins you games, you know, we will get the next a striker, or the next Benny McCarthy, the next Bernard Parker, or the next Zuma, or the next Belen Omvete, because goals win you games. So.
And yesterday at Orlando, I saw an attacker dancing, going back to his own goalkeeper.
Yeah, yeah, Mahlatse, yes.
He called us to tell us this. He was so disappointed.
He's supposed to be scoring there, but he's dancing
going back. You know, that's just a South African sickness. We need to get medicine for that sickness, and getting medicine for that sickness, go direct. Go direct. Once you reach the final third, make sure that we do finish off the action, not trying to go back, Mahlatse, with a Tamaya or a Vala, you know. So that has actually affected South African football. Because now that we don't have players in Europe. At the top leagues, the only top league we have a player is Lau Forster. All the other top leagues we don't have. And previously we had a lot. Now we don't have. So if we can reproduce top attacking players, because that's where the money is, that's where every club wants to have a goal scorer in their team. And the likes of Kaizer Chiefs, the likes of Orlando Pirates, that's why they have so much pressure and always changing the strikers, because us as South Africans, we need to get back to what we done before, and get more goals. We get more goals, then we get more recognized internationally, or we qualify for another AFCON, and then we have greater chances to qualify for a World Cup as well.
Earlier on, you mentioned, you know, players that disappear through the system. And I always, you know, want to find out from a player's perspective as to how you think then we can cure that, you know, because that's another South African disease in terms of mainly in the football aspects, where you got this young talents, but they will disappear. And sometimes, you know, like the progression, where senior players, you'll go straight and play for Bafana, but all those are playing for the under-17. That doesn't happen seamlessly. So from your perspective, what can be done to ensure that our young players don't disappear in the system?
The young players need guidance. They need guidance, and the most important principle that I love to Mahlatse is have a role model or have a mentor. And also by having that, you know, it actually gives you more motivation, you know, to improve as a player, and also to stay in the game as a player. And at the lower clubs, at the smaller clubs, I would say, players perform well. They give everything. They chase every ball. They go for every header. Some of them, they even put their tongue for a tackle. And then when they get to the big team, where you have to just do what you have done before, players tend to now get distracted from the social factors, the external social factors. And once you get attracted to the external social factors, now you bring it into your place of work, which is a training. Now you don't train properly because you probably had a late night, or you don't train properly because now you ate so much and you've gained weight. So being a 24-hour pro is really, really, really important.
24-hour pro, I like that.
Yes, especially at a big team, because big teams, they invest big money in you. So you have to make sure that you're 24-hour pro. And a lot of the young players get drawn to the external factors, and then they don't even realize why their game are not going right. They don't even realize that. And then once they get released now from the big team to go back to the smaller clubs, they can't even get a regular time at the smaller clubs. I think it's because what we have internally as a club, we need to affect what we can affect and control what we have internally. No acceptance. It's hard work or nothing. The external stuff we can't control as a club. External stuff, we understand I'm a celebrity now. Everybody wants a piece of me. Uncle, yeah, auntie there, then all of those type of stuff.
Yeah.
Unemployed friends, you know, from Ekasi that wants to also get a piece of you. And as time goes on, you don't realize that you're not having enough rest, that you're not clear mentally, and that affects your game. And I wish that a lot of young players that are coming through the ranks keep that level of professionalism high. You know, you must have a good nutrition, you must make sure you keep a balance of whatever you do. Sleep also more, you know, get 6 to 8 hours sleep.
For sure.
And then just do those principles or fundamentals, you know, and add discipline to it. Football is a short career, so if you do all those stuff during your career, you will have an illustrious career, I would say. You know, you would have done a lot into the game, and it's so sad to see that top talent. The fans love them. The fans whistle for them when they go warm up. The fans cheer them when they come on as a sub. The fans cheer them when they score a goal. I blame the social factors because players take all those things to mind and they take all those things to themselves. And then when it's now crunch time and when it's now where they are needed most, they can't raise their hand, they can't lift their hand. And it's so sad to see because I've also witnessed Mahlatse where I sat on the bench at Kaizer Chiefs and a player went to warm up and then the coach called him now to say, you're going to go in. And he sat next to me, he came and he said, hey, Ntwana, it was really crowd. Mahlatse.
Before he touched the ball.
Before he touched the ball, you know, and he scored on the day. He scored on the day. 2 years later, the player is clubless.
Oh,
you know,
no.
Young player is clubless and now he's at home. You know, Grootman this, Grootman that, help me there. So, and we need to have people internally in all the clubs, you know, to try and manage players, because if you try and manage players within the club, it actually benefits the club because the more the player is being managed and the more the player gets less distraction, you will perform better. I'm laughing because Coach Pizzo used to call players. I don't know if you know that. Coach Pizzo used to call players and say, what are you doing?
At night.
Yes.
At night. What are you doing? No, Coach, I'm watching TV. Oh, okay, what channel are you watching? You know? Yeah.
I actually remember back in your days, the landlines. The landlines were the best because if he calls you on the landline, you have to be home.
You have to be home, yes. Or even if you're not home and you say, Coach, I'm here and there. And his coach says, okay, be home in 30 minutes. How far are you from home? Be home in 30 minutes or an hour. Then what's your girlfriend's number?
Yeah.
You know, what's your girlfriend's number?
Call home, call the missus.
Call home, the missus. Or if you're staying with your parents, I need to know that you're home. And that helped Coach Pizzo. You know, he tightened the screws. And when he tightened the screws, the players had no chance but to have that thing in their subconscious mind that tomorrow I have to be fresh for training. You know, I also have to be at my best on weekend when it comes game day. So if we can control internally what we have, I think there will be more growth within the club.
I like that. Sizwe Mabena, I see you nodding, you've been taking notes.
Well, there's this trait, I think I've mentioned this in your presence over the years, that you and Aaron Mabena have.
Oh, yes.
And I've always spoken about this, even with Aaron not too long ago, where when we're out of the country, as South Africans, now we're following you guys. We're part of the media team that's there. So
By the way, Bernard, wait, hold on, Mabena. He's been telling the story for a good 5 years, so I know. No, he loves it. But you get why, yes.
And let's say we have the team hotel. Now you guys know we'll be there, hopefully hoping to get an interview as you guys walk past from breakfast, going back to your rooms and so on. And only 2 guys, and I'm talking traveling for many years now, Bafana, would have the, I don't know, we're brave enough, maybe I should say, or we're confident enough to walk out of that group and come up and acknowledge the South African journals. Hey, Machita, we see you. We're all in foreign lands, but we see you. Or when you're coming from training, you guys would come off the bus and we'd be there, obviously, waiting to shoot you guys while you guys are training.
Correct,
only two guys would do it. Always you and Aaron Mugwena.
Yeah.
And for me, that was a sign of leadership, one, but also of confidence. Because other guys maybe shy away from the media. They look at Mahlatse and saying, "He's writing an ugly story about me or whatever." But you never had that.
Yeah.
And especially away from home. It was nice to see that from you and Aaron. Was there is there something that someone told you that maybe gave you that confidence to do that? Because very few other players did it. I'm talking some of them were stars.
Yeah.
Very few.
Yeah.
Just you and Aaron in my recollection.
Oh yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, sure.
I told you that's a good story,
didn't-
right?
Yeah, I didn't even realize that. I think football is a human spirit game, you know. So if you have the human spirit and the personality and the humility, you know, to acknowledge the people who are working behind the scenes. I think I've picked that up at the School of Excellence. When I was at the School of, I picked it up that even the cleaning lady or the groundsman who's cutting the grass,
For sure.
you know, they prepare stuff for us. So we have to acknowledge that we have to greet them and be grateful and acknowledge that, and also show respect as well. So what the school has taught me, I think that actually has been carrying me all these years throughout my career. And for Aaron, he's a great leader. He's a top professional, a great leader, and also he thrive on discipline as well. So I think it's just the human spirit within the footballer, I would say.
What was your biggest disappointment in your career? Sure, there must have been a few.
I can't even remember much. I'm such a positive guy. I think I wouldn't say mistake, or I say a little bit of a regret. You know, when I was in Europe, I think I should have stayed. You know, go to a smaller league from Twente, where it could be Denmark or Sweden or Scandinavian or whatever. You know, just to stay there. But you know, growing up, you always wanted to play for Chiefs and Pirates. You know, and I came back and I did well, but. That's the only regret I have in my career.
And by the way, there was a time when you had $1 million in your bag in Europe.
Yes. Oh yeah, you know, this is a funny story. I went to Greece, on loan to Greece at Panathinaikos, and they were fighting relegation. So the chairman said to me, "This is your salary, €5,000, and this is our agreement. So this salary is the €5,000. It's just for the association or the FA, whatever. So they know that this is coming into your bank account. But the total amount is this is what we have, what we agree on.
Sure.
So the other money I get cash from the chairman. So let's see. Then I had so much of cash, so every second day I had to go and make a deposit to Western Union back home. And I was guided by the team manager to say, use different Western Unions because they probably will think you're a drug dealer or something, you know. Then also the cab driver that I used to drive me around, he also helped me, so I will also give him money to also deposit back home. And then we came to the end of the season, Mahlatse, where the chairman still had to pay the money he owes me. And I said to myself, how I can only declare €3,000 at that time. I can only declare €3,000. What am I going to do with the other money? It's like, ooh. So I put money in my shoes, I roll up my jacket, I put there. And then I flew back to Holland because I needed to go back to Holland and then get my other stuff and come back to South Africa. And then when my bag came out at Frankfurt, when my bag came out on the conveyor belt, I was like, yes, I was worried. I was like, yes.
What will be
Yes.
good?
And I kept looking around thinking, is the security now going to come and pull me out? Or so, yes, but those are good memories.
Definitely. All right, so before we get out of here, TS Galaxy currently 5th in the DStv Premiership. You've got, of course, Cape Town City this weekend.
Yeah.
Orlando Pirates at the best stadium ever, Bombela Stadium. I've been trying to tell this gentleman this is the best stadium ever. I'm a bit biased.
She's from Nelspruit.
Okay. All right.
Everything there is the best.
Everything there.
You guys are terrible. But I'm sure you love Bombela Stadium, no?
I love Bombela Stadium. I scored the first goal at Bombela Stadium.
For Bafana.
For Bafana.
Yeah.
Against Mozambique.
Right after the 2010 World Cup, no?
Before the 2010 World Cup. Yes.
Ah, yes.
Before
so
the 2010
Bang
World
went
Cup.
big.
We
It was
opened
your
up.
game, actually.
Was
Your
out.
goal.
Yeah.
When Click Bang went crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You guys are having a click moment now.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it was this goal. Yeah.
And every time we go there, I remind the young boys, the young players, I said, guys, you know the stadium? I opened the stadium. I'm happy I opened the stadium with a goal.
I
You know?
remember the wording.
With a
Parker,
goal,
click,
yeah.
click, bang. Click, Grange, take that. Yeah, it was this goal.
Nice. But yes, Pirates then we literally went on the other side. Pirates then you're hosting them at home. Talk to us then about, the few games that are remaining for the season, of course, and the expectations from your side.
Yes, I think we got 2 games at home. From the 4-5, which is Orlando Pirates, and then we got a midweek clash against Sundowns as well. Before we close it off in Polokwane with Polokwane City. And I want to be in the Sundowns. I want to start against the Sundowns team. Because in me I feel like, hey, I need to score.
Yeah.
I need to score. And through the years, I've always scored against Sundowns.
Sure.
Yes, I've always scored. And Pizza will come across always to the bench. He greets the coach and he'll tell me, hey, not today, not today. And then the end of the game, I said, hey, coach, today. Yeah, so I'm looking forward.
That's the game
I'm
you're
looking forward to that. Yes, and what a way for us to host Orlando Pirates during the last stages of the final run of the season, because we're in a good position to get to number 4 spot.
For sure.
And I think it is obtainable. Our team has got so much confidence. We have grown so much as a club. It's only we just need more percentages in our belief system. So, and also our belief in ourselves that we can get to the 4th spot, because we want to make history for TS Galaxy, and it will be a great thing to give back to the chairman if we get a 4th spot. And also I want to go across to their bench, and go and greet. Yes, because the last game I was hoping that they will come across to me and come and greet. Since they haven't seen me since I came out of the hospital. In fact, they didn't even come and visit me in the hospital, and they haven't seen me.
Wait, did you get a text?
Since.
Can I get the clarity? Did we get the text, phone call?
Text only.
Text only.
I got the text only, and then immediately I replied to that text to say, you are forgiven, and wish you all the best. And it was read, and it wasn't even, when you put the heart.
Oh yes, when you react to the message,
there was no reaction or nothing. It was just seen, and it was done like that.
So who is this now? This is the player.
This is the player. Okay. Yeah, this is the player. And then when I got even out of hospital, I was in and out of radio studios and all of that. And I said it on the radio. No one apologized. No one apologized. I never got a phone call, and I never got a reaction after that. So it made me realize and think that the sooner you forgive, the faster you will recover.
For sure.
And you say you want to go out and shake hands with them.
Yes.
This time around.
This time around, yes. I don't know in which culture where they say is you must go touch the hand that caused the incident on you, so that you can get relieved from that. Yeah. So there was no apology, But someone said in the media that I did call Bernard. I wasn't called.
So,
I didn't speak to
in
anybody.
simple terms, just to clarify, you would love to shake hands with Bongani Zungu. Let's just put it out there.
Yes, I would love to shake hands with Bongani Zungu and Coach Rulani himself, because he has shown all the young coaches that anything is possible. You know, if you just put your focus and your passion in what you're doing, and when you put your focus and your passion in what you're doing, energy flows, and he's shown a lot of energy. You know, and his energy reflects onto his team. I respect him, but publicly, let's respect each other also publicly. You know, and as I said, football is a human spirit. So let's get that football spirit amongst us.
All right.
So deep.
Oh my goodness. But I absolutely love
I think this one will trend.
You like trending, eh? But before we get out of here, as we run out of time, biggest question, we always have a question how we end off the show, and everybody gets to answer it. We'll start with the oldest one, which I think is Mahlatse Mphahlele.
Obvious.
You look like the oldest one today. What do you mean? But anyway, Mahlatse Mphahlele, you will start today. The question is, who is your GOAT of all time? That is, of course, your sporting GOAT.
Greatest of all time.
Greatest
My
of all time.
greatest of all time. It definitely has to be Diego Armando Maradona.
And he has
I
a
don't
picture
have
with
to
him,
say anything after that.
which is so unfair.
And by the way, I've had the pleasure of meeting Pele and Maradona.
Yes.
I met Pele at Royal Bafana when they were opening at the stadium.
All right.
Coca-Cola brought him down. And I met Maradona 2010.
Yeah.
I was the FIFA media officer.
Yeah.
After 2010. I did all his press conferences. A nightmare of a man. He doesn't stick to protocol. He doesn't stick to protocol. He does his own thing. And in the press conference, every single person is live back in Argentina. He's a larger than life character. There's a church in Argentina where they go and pray in front of his picture.
Okay.
But also a phenomenal footballer. I came across a clip recently.
I thought you were not expounding here, Mahlatse
I
Mphahlele.
came
We don't
across
have
a
time.
clip recently where Gerlinica spoke about him.
All right.
At that time, Gerlinica was playing for Barcelona, but he never played with him per se. But they were playing in a charity football match. And he says the stuff that the guy did, he has never seen them anywhere, and he doesn't think there's any other player who can ever do that. Messi comes very close.
All right, cool. Mabena, quickly. Try to be quicker.
Sportsman of all time. Not only a world champion, but also a person who did a lot for humanity. Muhammad Ali, in my opinion. My father, when I was growing up, told me a lot about him. Growing up also, then I started reading up a lot on Muhammad Ali. Look, the stuff he went through, to not want to go fight in the war, his reasons for not wanting to go fight in the Vietnam War makes sense to me. Then also the civil rights issues back in America, and also at a time when there was hardly any TV, never mind social media. You couldn't trend nothing. To have taken over and let the whole world know, just through radio, because my dad grew up in a time when there was just radio.
For sure.
But to be that larger than life in that time, back then as a black man in a difficult time, to be a black man in the States, for me, greatest of all time.
All right, Dion, what about you?
Wow. For me, Mahlatse, let me get back to Mahlatse. Mahlatse, you know all the stuff about Maradona. We confirm now you are the oldest sitting here. maybe you watched him play.
When he was a big, well, I was still young and stuff, but I've watched clips of him.
No, definitely. For me, Cristiano Ronaldo. Although I'm an 80s child, but I'm Cristiano Ronaldo. Maybe I'm the 2000s now. Reason why is the best decision that any footballer should do is self-investment. The guy invests in himself so much, you know, whether it's in the field or whether it's off the field, investing in himself so much, and he's been a great professional. you know, also competing with Messi also on a stage like that for so many years, you know, in their generation. He is my greatest of all time because, Mr. Mabena, as you mentioning war, you can take Ronaldo to the war and he would have his armor and his spear sharp when it goes for war, when it's time for war. So Cristiano Ronaldo is my GOAT.
All right, your GOAT, the only man who knows what GOAT means from the three of y'all. No, we don't have the time for that. No, my GOAT?
Yes.
It's Lewis Hamilton. It has to be Lewis Hamilton. Seven-time world champion. It is not the looks. My goodness, we need more time to unpack what Lewis stands for. There's so much more than just looks to Lewis. I mean, from how he got into the sport, the fight that he had to go through, I mean, being the only black person still till today. I mean, after so many years, the only black driver in Formula One, it's absolutely massive. He's actually also managed to, you know, find a voice. And I think the biggest criticism for Lewis was, why doesn't he stand up for black people? Why doesn't he keep quiet when black people are going through so much? But now that's changed. Okay, yeah, fine. Things have changed. And now Lewis, of course, has a voice, which I think is absolutely phenomenal. He's opening more doors for more black people. Sure. So I think for me, it's not just about him, but what he stands for. So Lewis Hamilton, let us know who's your, of course, GOAT, your greatest of all time. That's how we wrap up the Arena Show. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been absolutely amazing. Cheers. Bye.